work in bars and restaurants, and so much of the story of the pandemic has been about low-wage workers bearing the brunt of this compared to high-wage workers. As an economist, what is your position on how to help low-wage workers specifically? What to you are ideas or solutions that work?
So right now we know we need to support them. So that is some of the direct relief. We also know that the unemployment extensions of the unemployment insurance are very important. There are the eviction moratoriums and help with back pay for rent. Other of those components are going to be very important. As we come through this pandemic, though, we know that we need to support some of those low-wage workers. People will need to have jobs that pay and allow them to support their families. We know that paid sick leave, paid family leave is very important to allow them to both be productive workers and take care of their families. So coming out of this recovery in particular, we need to ensure that all Americans can be productive workers and being able to support their families.
So much of the conversation around what happened in 2008 and 2009 was the idea that the help went to, quote unquote, the banks, they got the support, and that many average people felt left behind. How do you ensure that what the president-elect does next doesn't kind of fall into that same perception?
That's an excellent point, and this administration is really committed to ensuring that the policies that it promotes promote everybody and bring everybody back into the economic activity, back into the labor market, and that we all benefit from the growth and the economic recovery. Some of that is paying attention to where the federal dollars are being spent, identifying those places where those who have better connections, larger banks versus smaller businesses that may be better connected, don't just get to the front of the line, but that the smaller businesses are able to maybe actually have a priority.
Cecilia Rouse, I just have one other question because I know you have some specialty in this area, and we've been doing a lot of reporting. Women have had to exit the workforce in frankly shocking numbers during this pandemic. What is the advice, I think you, or how do you think about providing a path for them to re-enter the workforce? Solutions that those of us who are not economists may not be familiar with.
Well, I think one of the most important ways that we get women back into the labor market is to get our schools reopened. I think it's been underappreciated the role that schools have played in taking care of our children and allowing women to leave the household and to participate in the labor force outside of the home. And so I think the first job, again, coming back to the pandemic, is to reopen our schools safely and so that our kids can be back in school and so that women can once again participate in the labor market.
After the pandemic,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
School is not essential.
Arizona is confirming 9,000 new coronavirus infections every day. The surge there is among the